Hello, everyone. It's Julie Hedges of the Tarot Journey, and thank you for joining me this evening for Live on the Tarot Journey. It's a great, good, wonderful Monday evening, and I'm glad you all are here. Thank you for coming back this month and supporting me after my hiatus. Some of you know that I took a month off, but you got to listen to, hopefully, what you might think was a really good program. It was a replay, one of my very favorites, a very special program that I did back in 2015, where I got to interview my favorite recording artist. And it took me a long time to go back and listen to the replay of that video, because I thought, oh my, I'm going to sound like such the geeky fan, right? So it took me months and months, at least 6 months, to go back to listen to it. But I thought I sounded like a pretty good, composed interviewer, engaged, but not too gaga like a real geeky fan. So I'm glad about that. And hopefully you enjoyed it and picked up on the enthusiasm also that I had for that program. And in the June edition of Star Nations magazine, which I am a monthly contributing writer of Star Nations magazine, I love being part of the Star Nations organization's family, being part of the Star Nations radio live stream program, and a contributing writer and an author. I am an author under the Star Nations umbrella. So lots of things, wonderful things happening at Star Nations. And so in the June article, I wrote the backstory about how the interview came about with Donna DeLore, my absolute favorite goo gaga geeky fan I am of hers, but how that all came about, that I, just little old me on the tarot journey, got to interview my favorite recording artist live on air, and she sang for us. She sang live on air. So I want to welcome you here. We have Neshi. Hiya, Neshi. And Rob's here, and all of you filing in. So please give me a shout out if you're here. I'd love to welcome you on the Tarot Journey on the program. So I'm glad to be back with you. I am very glad to be back with you this evening. Thank you, Neshi. She is loving and sharing Julie's show. Yay! Loving and sharing the show. So I would ask if the Tarot Journey is something that you are enjoying, and you know some friends and family who might want to join us on the journey, because it's fun, right? We learn a lot, we laugh a lot, we sometimes cry. We play, we have fun. So thank you for liking and sharing. So sharing on your page or in a group, someone who might be interested. So that that helps us reach out and touch someone, right? That used to be an ad for a telephone company way back when we actually had home phones, right? So Sharon's joining me on the Tarot Journey. Yay! And Rob's a shout out. All right. And here's his shout. Thanks. Thanks, everybody. Thanks for jumping on. Oh, yeah. Stephanie Williams said, I remember that episode. It was amazing. Thank you. I loved doing that. And so welcome. I am your host, Julie Hedges, and you are on the Tarot Journey, with me this evening, and it's a brand new tarot journey. We're going to talk about Metta on the Tarot Journey. And what is Metta? So let me show you what that looks like. Metta, right there. That word Metta. We're going to talk about that and spend our evening in Metta, in prayer, in loving kindness. And then hopefully we're going to take that out into our world, right? Take that out into our world. Because I think that we all need some metta in our own lives. I think our friends and our family and our coworkers and our bosses and the post office lady and the grocer and the guy who works on your car and the guy who mows your lawn and the neighbor kid. I think we all need some metta. We all need some loving kindness, and that's what metta means, is loving kindness. So as we are drawing into the tarot journey now, and we are liking and sharing and inviting people in, we want to set sacred space, because we actually really do sacred work when we're on the tarot journey. And I call it the tarot journey for this show, but it's just kind of a name for the gathering of us when we get together. I call it the tarot journey because we are all on our own journey. And that's just part of my gifts, is to use the tarot. But whatever journey you are on, we're, as Ram Dass says, we're all just walking each other home. But we want to do it in a sacred, thoughtful manner with loving kindness. And so I always set sacred space for our shows. I get myself in my own head and heart space before I join you on the Tarot Journey show. So I already have my spiritual team in, and we've already been working today, getting ready for the show. But while we're here, I want to set this as a special sacred space. So if you would join me wherever you are and whenever you are on this tarot journey, to just take a deep breath, if you would. In through your nose and all the way down to the tips of your toes. And connecting those feet right there on Grandmother Earth. Letting them settle and connect. And exhaling out and breathing in again. And feeling it go all the way into the tips of your fingers. And another one all the way up to the tippy top of your head. And then all throughout your body, and exhale. I love that centering breath. Learned it from a very wise and wonderful teacher. And I do it for myself and sharing it with you this evening. So as we are all breathed into our space, we're breathed into our own bodies. Let us invite in the sacredness of our time together. And we call to the sacred winds of understanding, the sacred fire of desire, the sacred waters of healing, the sacred earth of our home. Welcome home, beloved. Welcome home. Welcome home with our angels, ancestors, our allies, those who walk with us, those who are walking with us home, those who walk with us, Creator, God, the sacredness, all that walk with us through the noise and the need, walking with us home, walking with us home, walking with us together, walking home. I pray, Metta, tonight, that my voice be heard, my heart be received. I pray that Metta embrace all who are in need. And so it is. Just feels good to settle in. Let me take a drink there. I feel like things are getting revved up tonight. Revved up. So let's talk about Metta. Let me put that word up there on the screen again. Welcome a few more viewers here. We've got Renee. Renee in the house. We've got Cynthia in the house. Hello, everyone. Hello. Thank you for joining me here. And talking about metta, what that is. Metta means loving kindness. It is a word that is most associated with Mahayana Buddhism. In this journey that I'm on a very long and arduous healing journey that I've been slogging through, sliding through, dancing through for quite a while now. One of the practices that I've gone back to is Buddhist meditation, and my meditation teacher follows the Mahayana practice under the school called Dharma Ocean. And what all that means is it's a practice of somatic meditation, of coming into your body instead of following the breath. Meditate and think of the breath going through your body, but it's actually getting into the spaces of your body. And anyone who has experienced trauma, I can't speak for everyone, but I will say that some of the shared commonality of those who have experienced trauma is the body is a dangerous place or a frightening place. So getting back to the body is important. And if you've ever looked at the work of Bessel van der Kolk, he talks about his work is the body keeps the score. So it is about how trauma is stored in pockets of the body, and the body remembers, the body knows. So this meditation of the Mahayana tradition is the somatic and getting into the body. And part of the teaching and part of the work or part of the practice is working with metta. And metta simply means loving kindness. But it's not the idea of loving kindness. Oh, let's be loving and let's be kind and let's everybody smile and greet each other on the street. It's, how do I want to say this? Metta is an active verb. It's a verb. It's a doing word. Loving kindness is moving. It's running. It's dancing. It is actually the doing of loving kindness. So we're going to talk a little bit about that tonight. What that means and why we want to talk about metta. Why we want to talk about metta. I think this world is starving for kindness. It's starving for the openness of what loving kindness is. And as we are experiencing our daily lives, we're experiencing our jobs, our families, our bosses, our spouses, the other cars driving down the road. We're experiencing all of those things, and we're trying to have our own intentions. I don't want to say, thank you, Renee. Amen. Yes, we're experiencing those things. We're having our own experiences, and we want to be loving, but how do we do that in the spaces of everyday life? People cut in front of us in line. Our kid yells at us just because we looked at him. Our boss didn't get any sleep last night and so is extra cranky in the morning, or the coffee machine breaks. Oh, heaven hold that back. The coffee machine at work breaks. Oh, that can be a travesty. I tell you, the nectar of the gods there. But loving kindness, this metta, is what we want to give not only to the world, but we want to give it to ourselves. And this practice of metta, this practice of loving kindness, is beginning with ourselves. These wonderful teachers of mine and mentors of mine that I have are always reminding me, you cannot pour from an empty cup. If you're giving out to your boss or your spouse or to your kids or to extended family, if you're a caregiver, if you are the one that everybody runs to when the problems arise, and you're giving it out and giving it out and giving it out like the Red Cross, that's great, but you cannot pour from an empty cup, so you have to include yourself in the loving kindness. And I want to share this quote from one of my favorite writers, Pema Chodron. She is a Buddhist nun in a different tradition, but I love what she says about loving kindness, and I love what she says about metta, that we don't have to put on a spiritual hat. We don't have to put on that, just give it to, excellent, Renee said, I just had that an hour ago. You cannot pour from an empty cup. See, you can't make this stuff up on the tarot journey, right? We don't have to dress a certain way. We don't have to have a certain attitude, that we can be loving kindness, and we can act loving kindness, and we can dance loving kindness at any time. So let me read this. I want to share it with you. Loving kindness, or metta, it's a Pali word, P-A-L-I is the language. Loving kindness doesn't mean getting rid of anything. It means that we can still be crazy. We can still be angry. We can still be timid or jealous or full of feelings of unworthiness. It isn't about trying to throw ourselves away and become something better. It's about befriending who we are already with tremendous curiosity, being gentle, precise, and open, actually being able to let go and open. When you come to have this kind of honesty, gentleness, and good-heartedness, there's no obstacle to feeling loving kindness for others as well. I just love the way she writes. The first book I ever bought by Pema Chodron, the title of it, and I will be honest, I bought it for the title, Start Where You Are. Oh, I don't have to know all the answers or have the practice all lined up to do it. And this is what she's saying when it comes to metta, when it comes to loving kindness, is we're not pushing anything aside in ourselves. Somebody cuts in front of you in line at the coffee shop. Hey, buddy, back of the line. You know, we can get our dander up, as my mama would say here in Southern Indiana. We don't have to push anything away to still have that metta, to still have that loving kindness within us. So what is metta? I've been doing this. I want to see if I can try to share this. Yay! This is the one I shared today. This is my horse metta. And I love the picture. I hope you can see it. Maybe let me give that a feature by itself. Give it a solo so you can see it a little bit better. I love the horses, but this is metta. Metta is a practice of loving kindness in the form of a prayer or a mantra. And there's many different ways that you can pray the metta. And as you are praying it, those words are resonating within your own body, within your voice box, coming from your diaphragm, which is your solar plex, pushing up into your lungs, which is your heart center, up into your throat chakra, and then out your mouth, which is part of your speaking mechanism. You're speaking your truth. So metta, there are many different prayers of metta. This is one that I have found that I really like, that I resonate personally. And so I share it. I practice Monday metta, something I've tried to do every week since the end of April, I guess, is is when I was inspired to start doing this. So I share it on my page, The Tarot Journey by Julia Hedges, and then I share it around. And I've also been trying to do, see, Spirit is nudging me, pushing me out there to do little things that I'm that are new and exciting and a little bit out of my comfort zone. So I've been trying to do these mini native live streams from my Facebook page about Monday Metta. So I try to do it once a week. It's not always at the same time, so you might not always catch me live. I try to do it in the afternoons, maybe after my work time, but I don't always get to it at a certain time, and I didn't want to put a time around that. But you can always join me on Monday afternoon at some point for Monday Metta Live. But I will share this in the morning. I will share the prayer in the morning. I will share the post, and I'll share it around to different groups so that you have that prayer, so you have that Monday Metta to start your day. It's kind of like somebody putting an ice cream cone in your hand. I like ice cream, so I'm going to say it that way. Or somebody putting a crystal in your hand, or a flower in your hand. You know, it's like, here's some Monday Metta for you. So I do it in the morning and then talk about it in the afternoon. So you can always catch those posts, and hopefully it makes you feel good. And hopefully it makes you feel like, hey, I just handed you an ice cream cone. I wasn't punching you. I was trying to hand you an ice cream cone. Or maybe I'm handing you a crystal, or maybe I'm giving you a love note, or maybe I'm just giving you a pat on the back. But here's some Monday Metta. And so the prayer, Rob, you're funny. I got some ice cream. Yeah. So Monday Metta, it starts with this prayer. It starts with a prayer that really is focused on yourself first, because you have to fill up your own cup before you can give it out. You have to have the ice cream first before you can give out an ice cream cone. It just makes sense. So you have to fill yourself up with this loving kindness, and then you can give it away. May all beings be at peace. May all beings be safe. May all beings be happy. May all beings be free. I love that. So I try to do that every week, and I share different ones. I like to make up these ones. So how does it work? How does it work? Let me give this a solo. Don't you just love those sunflowers? I got that off of Google Images, by the way. So here is the, thank you, Neshi. I love the Metta prayer. It feels great and so resonate with it. Excellent. Yeah, so resonant with it. Thank you. So here is the body of the prayer. May blank be at peace. May blank be safe. May blank be happy. May blank be free. And so we always start with ourselves to fill that up, to fill ourselves up so that we can give it out. So we focus on, may I be at peace. May I be safe. May I be happy. May I be free. Showing up exactly as ourselves, exactly as we are. You know, bad breath and dandruff and gas or whatever. Showing up exactly as you are. May I be these things. May I embody these things. May I be surrounded with these things. And from there, I extend my circle. Then I can give it away. When I have it, I can give it away. So the next step is, may you be at peace. May you be safe. May you be happy. May you be free. And so we usually start with someone for whom we have an affectionate response, or someone we like. when we think of ourselves, we fill our cup up, and then we can give it away. So we start thinking of someone that is special to us or that we like. Maybe a spouse or a best friend or a family member, someone that has a real good feeling. So it's easy to give then. It's easy to give that. Here's an ice cream cone for you, friend, spouse, mama, daddy, whomever, brother. Here's an ice cream cone for a person I really like. And then as we get good, I don't even want to say that. Sorry. Reverse. As we become more open and gentle and what were some of the other words? Precise and curious with this loving kindness. Those are some words that Pema Chodron used. Then we can start giving it to people with whom we really don't have a positive or negative response. They just are. So the checkout girl at the local grocery store, or the guy selling tomatoes at the farmer's market, or the guy who mows your lawn, or the neighbor kid down the street who helped you find your cat. We can give it to people for whom there's a neutral response. And then as we work with it a little bit more and a little bit more, we become more savvy, and we can extend it to those who are not so always top of our list of I really like you. Let's pinky swear forever and ever best friends. So maybe a bit of an adversarial relationship, or someone that just kind of turns your crank the wrong way, and offer it to that person. And even then extending it, or if that seems a little bit, we don't ever want to force Metta, because it's loving kindness. We want to have the loving kindness there. We never want to force it, but we can, let me put this back up here. We can think of it for all beings. So if having a thought of, I'm going to give loving kindness to this particular person that's turning my crank the wrong way at the moment, if I can extend it out to all beings, then that covers them too. And I'm okay with my metta at this point, because I don't want to create a space of incongruency within myself. Hi, Linda. Thanks for joining us this evening. So we extend that loving kindness to all as an umbrella. And then we can even extend that loving kindness in places that are a little more challenging. Oh man, I really wanted to be further along than I am, so I'm going to try to hurry it up here. I call it living in the noise and the need, okay? So we're all just out there living our lives, kicking it up. Now she's saying, I love this. Sending love and good juju is always more challenging when we send to those who may get along with very well. But that is where it's most needed. Yes. Those with whom there's kind of an adversarial situation. It takes a little bit more, I think, personally. Because even though I talk to you on the tarot journey and I share, I still have to put on my pants like everybody else, and I don't get a pass. I still have to use my tools, and I still have to do my own metta for myself and then give it away to people who torque me off. It's still just me being transparent on the tarot journey. But how do we get ourselves out of the noise and into the need? So the noise, and in this I'm talking about I'm talking about those things that are challenging, and they might be important. I am not dismissing any of these things that we have. So relationships that are challenging are a lesson for us to grow, to learn, or to set boundaries and say, see you later if we need to. Yeah, Renee is saying a whole lot more sometimes. These times are challenging for too many right now. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Especially those of us who are sensitive. And if you have found your way to the Tarot Journey show and you are sharing it and you are part of the Star Nations family, then pretty much you are sensitive and you are sensing and you know that these things are going on and you are feeling the noise. And I'm saying that these things are important. But how do we, and that's why I want to talk about, give some tools tonight. How do we let go of the noise temporarily so we can focus on our need? We've all seen in the news there are some challenging things going on in our world right now. Children are in need. Children have been in need all spring since the beginning of the year. It's been more of a crisis with children. But I don't need to feed that by going to the news websites or listening to the commentaries or watching it or listening to the live streams. I don't need to feed that noise. It's not good for me. It's not good for my loving kindness for myself to feed that. I know what's going on. I'm aware. I've got my sensitivities out there feeling it, but I don't want to feed it. I want to avoid the noise and focus on the need. So yes, it's very disturbing for me what we've just learned in the past few days. But I think this is personal opinion only. And if you have comments, please share them. I would like to get them up on the screen. I'd like to talk about them. I think the best thing for me to do is fuel the need that is there. And I think there's a need for loving kindness for those children who are affected. Instead of feeding the frenzy of this is wrong and this is right and you should and you shouldn't and blah, blah, blah. I want to feed the need of children are scared and lonely and they need comfort and they need guidance and they need people who care right now. They need loving kindness. That's the need. The noise is all over the TV screens and the well put together news anchors and this commentary and that writer and all of that. That's the noise. The need is loving kindness, I think. And so I would ask if we join together just for a few minutes this evening to give to that need, to give to the need of comfort and gentleness and loving kindness to the ones who are desperate. Rob's saying the situation runs far deeper than any talking head will ever be able or willing to explain. Yes. And at this point, I, for myself, know that I have all the explanation that I need at this point, that I require to understand that my need is for loving kindness. My need is for Metta out there. Renee is saying, I can't share now, but you are hitting the nail on the head for me right now. Yes, desperate. So if we can focus on the need And if you will join me wherever you are, whenever you are, to send some metta, some loving kindness to all beings. But my heart is going to go right to Neo, Texas. I think that's how you say it. To a very particular place where some children are. And I want, I'm getting emotional right now. I want my loving kindness to go right through those doors and down the halls and into the dormitories and crawl right into bed with those children who need it now. And if you would join with me, your heart, your voice, if you are in a place where you can pray this out loud, I would so appreciate that. For all children, may all children be at peace. May all children be safe. May all children be happy. May all children be free. Go. Thank you. Perfect. Rob is saying, don't forget the mothers and fathers. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. If you would do another spiritual work with me, a power prayer. The Metta, I think, is a power prayer. If we could send it out to all mothers and fathers. Over the weekend, just yesterday, we had Father's Day, an important day. I know that Father's Day is very tender and a time that is positive for some and challenging for others. But if you could join with me to send again this loving kindness, may all fathers and mothers be at peace. May all fathers and mothers be safe. May all fathers and mothers be happy. May all fathers and mothers be free. Thank you for that, Rob. Sharon says, I sent some love to the missing children. Oh, this is perfect. This is perfect. I can feel this metta. I can feel this loving kindness all amped up like popcorn getting ready to pop. Popcorn getting ready to pop. Thank you, Sharon. Sending love to the missing children. Rob, praying for protection, clear sight, hope, and justice. I like that. I like that. So temporarily putting aside the noise of the what is wrong, because I know that I can name wrong. And we see it and it's shouted out and it's on billboards and it's piped through our Sirius radio and the news stations and on our Twitter feed and all of that and Facebook, social media. Yes, it's all out there. But if we can temporarily tune out the noise and focus on the need. And for me, that's metta. And there are also some other practices. Linda's saying, may all be united. Oh, I like that. Oh, I like that. This is a powerful phrase. Thank you, Rob. As you have done unto the least of these, so too you have done unto me. I don't know where that scripture is in the Holy Bible, the Biblios. But that is true. As you have done to any of these creatures, great or small, you have done to the great Creator. Yes. Thank you for joining me in Metta, in that personal intention. Just a few minutes here before I open it up. I wanted to talk about this. Let me bring this down. We have so many things wanting our attention. There is so much noise out there. There are things that are really challenging issues that we know we have to take care of. Some fires that we walk through, some Olympic trials that we have to undergo for ourselves. But how can we, I want to show this by itself. I love this. I came up with this. Take it easier. That's iced tea, by the way. Just in case any of you are wondering, that's an iced tea. Take it easier. Take it easier. Myself, I have a hard time with backing off of an intensity. I'm an intense person. I'm a go-getter. I'm always moving. I have a hard time with putting my feet up. So so the phrase "take it easy," for me, I instantly bristle on the inside and I think, ugh, laziness. I can't take it easy. But it's okay for me to swallow it if it's take it easier. Oh, okay. So instead of 80 miles an hour, I can go 72 and still have the momentum that I want to have in my life, but instead of pushing for 80, I can do 72, or I can even do 60 if I want to. And I'm still within my own personal motivation of I gotta go, I gotta do. So take it easier. So just for a couple minutes, I want to show you a couple ways that I use my tools to take it easier. And one of them, I did post this last night, I think, but I want to show you a very special tool that I have. I'm trying to get it in here in the camera. Look at this beautiful little heart. Whoops, here we go. That's a little bit better. It's a rose quartz heart. It's in my personal crystal toolbox. It's only about 1.5 inches, 2 inches, right? It's not that big, but it's nice and it's solid. It really feels good. So what I do with my rose quartz, if you are into crystals, if you like crystals, if you know crystals, and yeah, let me go back to that. I want to go back to that verse real quick before we go to that. As you have done unto me, let me rewind. As you have done unto the least one of these, so too you have done unto me. And Rob is sharing that it's in Matthew 25:40 in the Gospels of Jesus Christ. And thank you, Renee, also getting that reference for us, Jesus's words. Thank you. And that includes you. As you have done unto yourself, so you have done unto the Christ light, the great creator, Yahweh, Buddha, Allah, whatever you want to call that, Wakantanka. So one of my tools of taking it easier, of metta, of loving kindness, is this rose quartz. And so it just feels good to me. So what I do, and it's so quick, but for me, it's like an instant flip of the switch. So I start at my crown. Let's see if we can try it. And I just take that, and in my auric field, I just draw a little heart. And at my third eye, I just draw a little heart. And I'm just envisioning love there. And at my throat, just draw a little heart. And on my heart chakra, drawing a little heart. And on down, and on down, and on down, finishing out the chakras. And it's, this rose cord is love, compassion, tenderness, peace. So I'm just instilling that in each of my chakra points, my life power points that are along the central channel of my body. And that's what I do. It's just so quick. But that's one of the ways that I do to take it easier, right here, as it said right there. Another practice that I love is sound clearing. And one of the ways that I do that is with a bell. So before I get ready to go on the show with you, probably 10 minutes before the show, I will do a sound clearing of my whole body, going down both my left and right and central channel. And this bell, I have several bells, but the bell in particularly, I can hear the sound of how the bell sounds at the different chakra points. I know, what needs to be rebalanced, what is going a little too much, and what's not enough, and how the wheels of light within myself need to turn a little bit in more of a balanced way. So I use a sound clearing, and I love using the bell for that. There we go. Yay. Another way, and I decided to just bring these along tonight, is I'm creating now. I am working on art. I don't know if you can, there's a glare. Do this without a glare. There you go. So I make collages. I make art. So I'm working on those things. Now, that particular piece that I showed you is just an 8.5 by 11, just in your regular frame. But I make collages. Here's another piece that I have made. I'm trying to get it in there. Make collages. Me here. Yay! So some ways that I take it easier for myself, and maybe some of those ideas can inspire you to really think about your personal practice. Because as the world turns, I think it's going to get grittier and messier and more wonderful terrible, as a friend calls it, more wonderful terrible. And we need a spiritual practice, whatever it looks like. I don't know what it looks like for you, whatever it feels like for you. We need a spiritual practice. Golly. Ooh, I have buzzed right on through this evening. I have talked a lot. So thank you for joining me for Metta, and I felt all those powerful prayers. And I do want to open it up for live mini readings. If you would like a card for you tonight, I am using this beautiful deck, and I want to show you what I have. This is the Mythic Goddess Tarot. Can I do that without? Oh, that's better without a little bit of a glare. Not so bad. The Mythic Goddess Tarot. And I've pulled out just the major arcana tonight. Just the major arcana, because these are some powerful goddess cards. I just love this. I just got it and I love it. I love it. I love it. So if you would like for me to pull a card and see what goddess energy can help fill up your cup, let's do it. First up, and please, I apologize if I lose somebody in the thread. It's challenging for me to kind of scroll down. Here we have Linda. Linda's raising her hand. Linda, you have, ooh, White Buffalo Calf Woman, card number 11 of the Major Arcana, and that is the Sacred Fire. And this cognates in the Standard Tarot deck. It cognates to the Justice card. So my understanding of White Buffalo Calf Woman is that she taught the Lakota Sioux people how to pray with this prayer altar of the prayer pipe, sending the prayers up to Great Creator. And she taught them that when the white animals come back, that there would be a new heaven and a new earth. It would be a new age. So this is the time of balancing. The time of balancing. So Linda, it's all about creating that balance through a sacred fire. So if you have a prayer pipe, you might want to fire it up. Or better yet, take some of those old things of your life that you want to burn up. Do a ride and burn. That's what I mean, a ride and burn. So things that you're ready to let loose of. Old relationships, old thoughts, old habits, old jobs, whatever. Ride and burn. Ride and burn. Balance that. Miss Renee, let's see what goddess is here for you. Oh, this one jumped right out. Oh, I love this. Ooh, for you. I'm sorry. My finger's right above that. Mother Mary. Mother Mary. That's card numeral 12 of the Major Arcana in this particular deck, and that cognates to the Hanged Man in the Standard Tarot deck. But what this means with Mother Mary is that as the mother of us all, that's the teaching in the Catholic tradition, Mary, the mother of us all, is the one who sees us through all of our seasons, right? She powders our behinds, changing our diapers, but also watches us when we take our first steps and give our first commencement speech. So I see this less as sacrifice and more as guiding us through all of our seasons. So Mother Mary, however you see that, Renee, is wrapping her arms right around you. Thank you. Stephanie, if it resonates, I would appreciate a card. Yeah. Let's see here. Let's see who wants to talk to you tonight. Ah, here we go. Pleiadian star goddess. I love this. That's yeah, card numeral 17 there. The star. That cognates to, of course, the star in the tarot deck. Pleiadians. What I understand about the Pleiadians is that the community that we know of Atlantis was a Pleiadian agenda. That's the way it was taught to me. So I know there are many different ways to look at that. But the Pleiadians started Atlantis, and it was to be the most advanced, most benevolent society. And then there was greed and power trips, and we all know how that ended, right? It fell into the deep abyss, and so did consciousness. but the Pleiadian star goddess is here to just ignite that spark within you. If you did not know that you were already connected into that energy, then there you have it. And the Pleiades are, they're in the Taurus constellation. So when we have astronomy, it's in the Taurus constellation, but in the zodiac, the Pleiades are in the zodiac sign of Gemini. So if you resonate with either one of those, then those star markers are in your chart there. So the Pleiades for you. Sharon, I would love a card. Yes, you may have a card, of course. Sharon. Ah, yes. This one is the beautiful Isis. Isis is card numeral 2, the High Priestess. The High Priestess who sits in front of the temple doors. Oh, there we go. Who sits in front of the temple doors with a scroll in her hand, and that is the Book of Life. And so she knows who is ready for the deeper mysteries and who still needs their training wheels on. So you're ready for the deeper mysteries. And if it feels like you've been in the deeper mysteries, well, it's going to get even deeper still. It's going to get deeper and deeper. So wear some boots. Wear some boots. Yay. Of course, Neshi. Of course, a card for you. Ooh, this one really flew out. Ah. It is one of my favorites. One of my favorites. This is Kali Ma, Mother Kali. It's the death card of the tarot, numeral 13. And I know for some people it's like, oh, panic, 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 death. It is my favorite card of the entire tarot, the death card, because it is the power of the chrysalis that changes the caterpillar into the butterfly. You can't have a butterfly without the caterpillar. But that's really watering it down. You cannot have the butterfly without the cocoon experience. And those of us who have been through it or who are going through it know a caterpillar's fat 8,000 legs completely disintegrates, turns to mush and goo in order for a new, long, lithe, graceful body to be readied. See, a lot of people like to talk about the butterfly, but they don't always like to talk about how to get there. So Kali Ma is the mother of that kind of transformation, the power of the chrysalis. So you're a great big butterfly, and I love you. And I appreciate what you've had to go through to become that butterfly. And thank you for being that for all of us. You are welcome, Renee. See here. Rob would like a card. Yes, let's see. Let's see. What wonderful. Oh, yeah. Here we have the goddess Bridget or Saint Bridget. That's card numeral 14. That cognates to the Temperance card in the standard tarot deck, but I love it's Bridget. Bridget is a fire goddess that is celebrated in and around Imbolc. Imbolc, we would know that as Groundhog Day. So February 1st, February 2nd. It's really at the cross quarter day where the sun reaches 15 degrees of Aquarius, really around that time. But we always celebrate it because we love our Julian calendars. We always celebrate that on February the 2nd. She is the fire goddess that starts the fires before spring. So as you see here, she is starting the fires that ignite spirit pouring into life and the living. Because I tell you, I don't know about you, but along about February, I'm tired of staying inside. I have cabin fever. I have winter fever. I want to get out and about, but it's cold and it's still yucky, but I'm ready to kick up my heels and get going. And so that's what this is, this Embolc, this fire, that's the fire before spring. So those fires are lighting up. There's still a little bit more time to go before springtime budding, before those plants shoot up out of the ground and we enter the spring season, but those fires are boiling underneath. Oh, thank you, Neshi. By a buffalo calf woman gifted the Ocheti Sakoi, the great Sioux nation, the 7 blessings to include the sacred pipe, the Chanupa. Thank you for sharing that. Thank you for sharing that. Who else do we have? Renee, I just put the rose quartz heart right over my heart. And there it is on hers. Yay. Stephanie, yes, lots of beautiful cards here. And Jeanette Hensley, oh yes, let's do a card for you. I'm running a little bit over. I want to make sure that I get everybody. And Jeanette, I'm shuffling, because until it pops out for me, I'm shuffling and shuffling. Ooh, this one popped out for you. Oh, yeah. This is card numeral 9. This is Yemaya. Yemaya, the goddess of the ocean. She is an African goddess, the goddess of the waters. And the story is that all life has come from Yemaya. And this particular card, numeral 9, cognates in the standard tarot deck to the hermit. So it is coming from within, shining your light. So whatever is happening with you right now, Jeanette, it's time to turn inward for your inspiration right at the moment. Light your own fire. So it's time for Metta for yourself. So I would invite you to do the Metta prayer every day for 5 days, starting with yourself first and saying it for yourself the loudest and the longest, and then rippling it out. So be sure that you are pouring from a cup that is full. And so filling that with loving kindness for yourself. Let's see here. As she says, Kali, the death card, transformation and transmutation, little death. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Making that caterpillar into a butterfly. You are welcome, Sharon. And you are welcome, Ron. Do we have everyone? Oh, Renee, thank you for joining me this evening. Thanks for being on the tarot journey with us. Appreciate it. And you are quite welcome. Quite welcome, Jeanette. And so with that, everyone, as I end the show, I always do, and ever since I started it in 2014, I've always ended the show this way, and I think it's important. I mean it every single time. It's so alive for me to say that may the peace that surpasses all human understanding be with each and every one of you. Om Shanti. Om Shanti. Peace be with you. Om Shanti. And good night.